So now is a Zn stain. What type of stain is Zn stain? Is it a simple or differential? It's a differential staining, okay? So you guys have done a simple staining. So the color, what is the color for the simple staining that we have given here? Blue. So remember, we use a methylene blue in simple staining, okay? In negative staining, the background was stained black. So that's why we have given the black color here, okay? In special stain, tell me one name of the special stain that you guys know. Albert stain, okay? So Albert stain, we have seen that in a green color, right? Okay. And finally, Gram stain was purple and pink, okay? And Zn stain will be red and violet, blue, okay? So this was actually discovered by Paul Ehrlich and later modified by Ziehl-Neelsen, okay? Ziehl-Neelsen, okay? So see, it doesn't matter who discovers, who modifies is what is named after, okay? So it's named after Ziehl-Neelsen. So the main principle is, I'm going to tell you in a simple way. You don't have to write this, okay? The main principle is the Mycobacteria has a very thick cell wall, okay? The cell wall is made up of mycolic acid. So usually it's impermeable. Nothing gets through it or comes out of it, okay? So what we do, when we heat the this bacteria, so the mycolic acid cell wall becomes loose. So after heating, the primary stain gets inside the that is inside the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, okay? Because the cell wall has become loose due to the heating. But after the sample has cooled down, so when the sample has cooled down, when the cell has cooled down, so that mycolic acid again regains its shape and it becomes impermeable again. So the color that was that has already gone into the cell, so that it can't come out. So that's how it retains the color. So remember, normally the cell wall is impermeable to the primary stain, that is the Carbol fusion. But after heating, it becomes permeable and the Carbol fusion enters the cell. But after that, when it cools down, it again becomes impermeable and then the Carbol fusion can't come out during the decolorization, okay? So that is the main gist of what is the principle. You can read in details in your books also, okay? So we'll go to the steps of the Zn stain. Just wait for a moment. So the first step is always a preparation, okay? Preparation, you guys already know how to prepare a smear, but I don't think you have this in your curriculum. But remember, if your external asks what is the glass slide, how the glass slide should be in case of a smear preparation, it should be a new, clean, grease-free, scratch-free glass slide, okay? It should not have any grease or any oily residue, right? It should be scratch-free, otherwise you will see the scratches in your slide, okay? And it should be new. Sometimes we reuse the glass, and unless it's scratched, we can reuse it again, okay? And what is heat fixation? Heat fixation is basically, it just adheres that smear to the glass slide so that it does not get washed away during our washing or any other process, okay? So we'll start off with the first step, okay? The first step is the primary stain. We guys know about the gram staining. What is the first step in gram staining? Primary stain using crystal violet for 1 minute, okay? So in case of Zn stain, we use Carbol fusion, okay? Have you guys heard about a fusion somewhere else? Where have you heard this one? Simple staining. That was basic fusion, okay? Basic fusion, when we add phenol, it becomes Carbol fusion, okay? So in case of Zn stain, the primary stain, that is the step is, we'll pour the Carbol fusion over the smear, okay? And we'll keep it for 5 minutes. After you have poured it, we're gonna heat it from underneath, okay? Usually we use a Bunsen burner or a spirit lamp, but in this case, we'll be using some cotton ball dipped in alcohol, okay? So why is the heating needed? No, not fixation. I just told you about the principle, to loosen the cell wall, to make the cell wall permeable to the Carbol fusion, okay? So now intermittently heat the slide from underneath, that I have already said, until the fumes start to appear, okay? So before the fumes start to appear, you will also see some small bubbling, okay? So whenever you see the bubbling, you will stop the heating process and let it stay there for the whole duration, okay? Let it cool down for 5 minutes and then rinse gently under a tap water. Remember, after every step, you have to rinse it under the tap water. Then the next step is the decolorizer, okay? What is the decolorizer used in gram staining? Acetone or acid alcohol, okay? So in case of Zn stain, the decolorizer is 25% sulfuric acid. 25% is for Mycobacterium tuberculosis, okay? You guys can see now there is a 25% sulfuric acid, okay? So in case of Ziehl-Neelsen stain, we use the decolorizer for 2 to 4 minutes. Do you guys remember how long we used to do the decolorizer in gram staining? 2 to 3 seconds only, okay? But here in case of Ziehl-Neelsen stain, we have to do for 2 to 4 minutes, okay? Until the we have to do it in case the slide is still visibly red, okay? Even after doing this, if the smear is still red, then we can repeat this process for another 1 to 3 minutes, okay? So finally rinse through under the tap water and wipe the back side of the slide also, because the back side also gets the color now. So you have to wash the back side. So finally there is a counter staining, okay? So can you guys tell me what is the counter staining step in gram stain? Saffronin for 30 seconds, okay? So in this case the 30 seconds remains, but here we will use a methylene blue. Can you guys see? The blue color is now the counter staining. In case of gram staining, the purple one was the primary stain. But here we'll use a methylene blue 0.1% for 30 seconds, okay? And after that we will again rinse it under the tap water. And you guys know what is the final step? What is the final step? We'll dry it and we'll look it under the microscope, 10x and then the 100x oil immersion, okay? So can you come down a little bit, Dr. Nakshatra? Okay, no, this one is not needed, okay. So after the staining process is done, we'll see the acid-fast bacilli as bright red to pink, okay? So you can tell it's a reddish pink colored bacilli, okay? Sorry. And the non-acid-fast organisms will appear as blue. That includes the surrounding also, okay? Everything other than the acid-fast organism, for example, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Mycobacteria leprae, nocardia, and certain other things also. Everything else will come out as blue, okay? Red blood cell, if there are bloods in the sputum, it will also come out as blue. Pus cells will come out as blue, okay? Everything come out as blue, okay? Okay. So this is very important. I want you guys to either take a photo or write it in your book, okay? Better is to take a photo. This is how you have to interpret and tell the external or internal when they ask you. So when they ask you now, so explain to me, doctor, what have you seen under the microscope? So you can't just say, I have seen something red. No, something red can be anything. So you have to explain it very nicely. Word to word, every word should be there. There is nothing excess here written, okay? You have to tell it, it's a Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which appears as a long, slender, straight or slightly curved. Can you see that this one is slightly curved? Okay. This one is very curved. This one is almost straight, right? Long, slender. You can see now these are long, slender. Slender means thin looking, okay? Long, slender, slightly curved, beaded. What does beaded mean? What are beads? Beads are small things. Huh? We have seen the rosary beads, what the Hindu people or the Christian people also do now. Okay. So these are the beaded appearance. Can you see this one? There are certain beaded appearance. This is due to the irregular staining of that is a cell wall, okay? Cell wall of the mycobacteria. Can you see this beaded appearance, these small dot things? This is how it's supposed to look, okay? Less uniformly stained. So can you see that this part is stained very nicely, but this part is not stained nicely? So this is less uniformly stained. In case of gram staining, everything was uniformly stained, remember? Do you guys remember in growth curve, in which step of the growth curve we see gram variability? Stationary phase, okay? Stationary phase. So gram variability is also like less uniformly stained, okay? So this is less uniformly stained, red colored acid-fast bacilli. So you guys can say now, so repeat after me. Some Mycobacterium tuberculosis appears as long, slender, straight or slightly curved, beaded, less uniformly stained, red colored acid-fast bacillus. That is how you interpret what you've seen under the microscope, okay? So what is this 25%? Sulfuric acid, okay? So there are sulfuric acid. If you want to look for Mycobacterium tuberculosis, then the decolorizer, we need to use 25% sulfuric acid, okay? If you want to look for Mycobacterium leprae, then we have to use only 5% sulfuric acid, okay? In case of atypical Mycobacteria, also 25%. Nocardia is 1%. We'll see a photo of nocardia, okay? Spores of certain bacteria, we have to use only 0.25 to 0.5%, okay? And other acid-fast parasites such as Cryptosporidium, you guys have already learned about this. Cyclospora, Cystiospora, Tinea saginata, you guys know about this now. Nucleus of hydrated cyst, okay. For these also we have to use 0.5 to 1%. So you have to know about the modifications of acid-fast, okay. The Zn stain that we know about, it's called the hot method. Why is it called hot method? Anyone has any idea? We are heating it, okay. We are heating to make the cell wall permeable. But this Kinyoun's method, this is called a cold method, okay. Because instead of heating up the smear and the Carbol fusion, we use a Kinyoun's Carbol fusion. It's a much stronger form of the Carbol fusion with increased phenol and increased fusion concentration as well. So that itself is very permeable. So it enters the cell wall very easily. So we don't have to use any sort of heating in Kinyoun's method, okay. And in case of Gabbett's method, there are two differences. One is that we have to use the basic fusion phenol stain for 10 minutes, okay. And instead of the common methylene blue, we have to use the Gabbett's methylene blue, which itself contains sulfuric acid, for 2 minutes. So you have to know the name of both of these and what are the modifications, what are the changes, okay. Finally, we have the anti-EP grading of sputum sphere. What is anti-EP? What is the full form of anti-EP? It's written here, elimination program. Remember in your Shastri book, in this practical book, okay, they have written RNTCP. RNTCP is the old one. RNTCP was revised National Tuberculosis Control Program. We have come well past the control program. We are now aiming for eliminating. So we have done the National Tuberculosis Eliminating Program, okay. So this is how you grade, okay. First of all, let's see. So this is actually a smear. You guys have seen the smear, na? You have seen a smear like this. So whenever you're looking under an oil immersion, you have to start from the top left part, okay. So one rotation or one movement of your mechanical stage, you are moving the mechanical stage. If you're moving it towards the right, if you're changing the field, so that is changing of one field, okay. So for example, if you started from here, you're moving the field towards the right. So the next field will be this one. So you have to look at total of 100 fields, okay. Can you see there are 10 fields here, 10 fields here. So that is a total of 100 fields. How do you look? You start from the top left hand side, you go towards the right, you come down, you again look at this, come down, look at this, come down, look at this. You have to see a total of 100 fields, okay. So if you have seen all 100 fields and you have found 0 acid-fast bacilli, only then we can say that the sputum does not contain any TB bacilli. So it's a negative for TB, okay. But if you have scanned 100 oil fields and you find 1 to 10, for example, let's say in the first one you find 1 bacilli, in the next 30, 40 fields you found none. In say 41st one you found 2 bacilli. Again you are going 10, 20, there is none. Again below there are 3 or 5 bacilli. So in total you found total 9 bacilli, okay, after searching 100 fields. So that is called as 1+ grading, okay. But for say example, you found 10 bacilli in the first field only. Let's say you found 8 bacilli in the first field, 7 bacilli in the second one, 5, 8, 10, 7, 6, 3, 1, 5. And doing this, so you have scanned 50 of this, and these 50 of these you have found from ranging from 1 to 10 bacilli in every single field, okay. In the first field you found say 7, second field 8. So you have scanned 50 of this. If you have scanned 50 of this and you found 1 to 10 bacilli in every field, then it's called a 2+ grading, okay. We aim to give you 2+ grading slides here. And finally, if you find that in every oil field there is more than 10 bacilli and you have seen 20 such fields, then you can say that it's a 3+ grading, okay. So you guys understand? Any question about this? Any question? Okay. So this is very easy, no? So this is how you scan, okay. You start from the top left hand side. Finally, this is how a nocardia is supposed to look. It's a filamentous growth type thing, okay. And this is a oocyst of the Cryptosporidium. Can you see this? Okay. Can you guys tell me what is the concentration of sulfuric acid needed for oocysts and 0.5 to 1%. Very good, Yammo. Okay. Water. You can do this one also, or as there is some space here, you can also pick it up like this. Okay, you can keep it here and you can pick it up like this and place it under the water here also. Okay, so you have to pour the water here or on the slide, but never directly on the smear. Okay, and remember, while picking it up now, you should make sure that you are tilting it upwards like this. Okay, you are tilting it upwards, don't pick it up like this, else everything will fall onto your hand, and this is a very dangerous specimen. Even if it's killed, it's still very dangerous. Okay, for example, we have the latent TB. After you have worked your way in during your internship in facing patients with TB, you will get the latent TB. Okay, but for you, as you don't have the latent TB right now, don't try to introduce this to yourself. Okay, so we'll take this one and you will do it like this. Okay, so let's start with him. Let's start. What is the first step? Carbol fusion. You're gonna pour it over this. Wait a minute.
So how much?
You have to flood the smear. The smear is this one, circled by the marker. Can you see this circular thing? This is the smear. So you have to pour it only over the smear. You have to sometimes push the bottle hard. Okay. So from push it up, push करो, squeeze करो, हाँ squeeze करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, और डालो थोड़ा, हाँ चलो, बढ़ो, very good. So this one is, so your time has already started. Okay. So hold this in your hand like this. Wait. Okay. Now take this underneath and move it in a zigzag way. Okay, very good. And now don't touch the smear. Okay, we'll look for some bubblings. Okay, the bubbling has already come, so you just move it out of the way. Okay.
Also, after completing everything, before like you become the stage for the person.
ओके, यहाँ पे आके देखना तुम लोग। बीडेड लग रहा है, ये गोल गोल कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है, ये अपना बैकग्राउंड है, यहाँ पे भी राइट वाला है, अच्छा है, राइट ऐसा होना चाहिए।